Finn is a 17-year-old high school Mexican graduate of 2022 who has studied and spoken English for the majority of her life. Poem is her first published book in collaboration with Eurobox, and we have her on telephone today to ask her some questions. Hi, Finn, can you hear me?
Yep. Hello.
Hi, thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for inviting me.
Would you please introduce us to your book? What is it about?
Okay, so Poems is just a little book I composed throughout a short period of time in which I reflected upon a lot of my feelings throughout the pandemic, and I thought that a lot of people could relate to these feelings. A lot of my friends that I used to hang out with in high school used to tell me that a lot of what I wrote seemed to resonate with them. So throughout the IB program, which was a program I was a part of as a student, and I managed uh, to have some courage in reaching out to several places to publish my manuscript, and Europe Books was one of them, and uh, my manuscript got accepted. So, Poems is just a way of me reaching out into the world.
And what are the main themes that you talk about, that you discuss in your poetry collection?
So, most of my poems deeply resonate with like feelings throughout the pandemic. I guess that you could say that they're mostly sad poems, but I'd like to think of them as almost nostalgic. Um, it's a way for me to really express myself when I couldn't talk to anyone, seeing as the pandemic made it really hard to communicate with others.
Is your book a reading that can really adjust to everybody, or was it written for a particular reader?
I'd like to think that a lot of people could read this book and kind of like relate to it. However, I think that a lot of people, most of the audience that might relate to the book the most will be teenagers or young adults that actually went through the pandemic and felt a lot of the feelings that I was conveying in my poems. It's almost like a type of therapy between us, which is almost like a silent vow that we're there for each other. And well, it's reaching out for those people who can't talk about their feelings.
And what does poetry mean in your daily life? I mean, do you have a special moment in your daily routine that you dedicate to poetry, or it can happen anywhere and everywhere?
I guess that poetry naturally comes to me when I'm alone. It's one of those moments in which I really think that I need to vent in a certain way so that I can calm down. It's almost as if I'm releasing my anxiety. I'm a very anxious person, so I think that by sending these feelings out into paper, it helps me cope.
Good, good. Um, I would like to know what was your feeling, your first feeling when you saw your book published? I mean, when you could touch it and see it.
Uh, I definitely cried. I held the book in my hands. I saw it for the first time. I definitely cried. But it was a very joyful feeling because I was holding something that was my own, something that I have made, and something I knew that I could be proud of.
We are so glad you could be part of this interview today and of this episode of Conoscere TV. And we want to wish you very good luck with your book. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Poems is a modern collection in which the young poet courageously gives access to their inner world by exposing their feelings and narrating some common emotional situation which might sound familiar to lots of people. Indeed, the poet does not shy away from the truth of how they feel about life, family, and the society in which they live. They draw inspiration from what they see, and through a modern, fresh, and intimate style of writing, let the reader know how, who, and what is around, make them feel in the attempt to find meaning to the hardship of everyday life. Poems by Finn is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. It's a publication by Eurobox.